Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now I'm going to be doing a reading for Blu-rays. It's a Blu-ray update. I didn't bother asking what this is going to be about. I kind of just said, fine, I'll do the damn reading. Fine. Just fine. So let's see, what is this going to be about? So as we already know, this is a period of elevated purging, clearing, just got to be careful about what we decide, how we allow ourselves to be triggered, the ways in which we are triggered, and the ways in which we respond to the triggers. All right. Oops. So weird feeling suddenly. Not sure what this feeling is about, but it's like a sinking feeling in my belly that I didn't have before I started shuffling the cards. I'm not too sure what it's about. Ooh. So almost done. We shall do one more deck. Which deck will we use? No, let's do this one. All right. That's a sick feeling. That's the sick feeling. It's okay, we'll recover. It's okay. So here goes. Let's just go ahead and start with the sick feeling. Card number 12, Hex, be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. So this falls in line with what I was saying as I was shuffling the cards, where you have to be very aware of what it is you're allowing yourself to be reactive towards, as well as how you react to it. This is a period of extreme purging. If you purge something that's necessary, that complicates your journey. If you don't purge something that needs to be purged, that complicates your journey. So this is it's an easy yet complex maneuvering that's going on. You have to make sure you listen to what your soul is telling you. So card number 8, everything in perfect balance. Not too much, not too little. Everything perfectly balanced in accordance with what your soul is telling you to do. Now, sometimes it's very difficult for a Blu-ray. Sometimes it's very difficult for a Blu-ray to be compliant with instructions from soul. Well, you're going to have to deal with what happens when you're not. When you're not compliant. That creates more struggle, creates more confusion. It creates more like sadness. Blu-rays have a tendency to have an elevated sadness. And this sadness is just, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's something going on in your life, that things are so bad. It's just a sadness that's always there, okay? And it's not necessarily a depression. If you consider it a depression, then it would be a functional depression. So card number 4, doable. The key is within your grasp. You can get through this. You can grab your key, get in your vehicle, and speed right through this. But if you continue to misplace your keys, if you continue to think other people are the key, it's not going to work for you, okay? If it does work short term, you'll begin to understand somewhere down the line why it's not going to work long term. Okay, so it's definitely not a long-term solution. Trying to find things, use other people as a key to your journey. Oh my God. Haven't been yawning, and as soon as I go live, I'm yawning. It's a potentiality that the message is so high frequency that it's pulling me partially astral, causing yawning. The Lover's card in reverse, failure to meet the test, separation, frustration in love and marriage, interference, fickleness, unwise plans. When you allow interference to be the trigger that causes you to not listen to what your soul is telling you, the instructions, the guidance, all of that stuff, then you begin to enter the realm of unwise plans, okay? Whatever plans you make that are rooted in fear, it's not really a good plan to decide things for yourself because of how afraid you are. Now, decisions have to be made. Yes, you might have fear, but what decision, what solution can you implement that will empower you rather than disempower you? Okay, that's something you have to figure out. Now, true love that's long-lasting, choices made from the heart, a return to good health. Excuse me. So return to good health. Sometimes when you are in the process of healing, you go through way worse as you're healing than you went through when it first happened. Prime example is a broken bone. Yes, breaking a bone is very painful. I don't know. I think I broke my nose once. I'm not sure. Anyways, broken bones, from what I hear, it's much more painful going through the healing process than it was to break the bone in the first place, okay? Hermit. Find or be a mentor. Take a break from society, a commitment to your spiritual growth. Recommit yourself, okay? Recommit to this process that you're in that will bring you out the other side stronger, more balanced, more centered, just more powerful in your own right. Take a break from society. I think a lot of things are happening within society that's causing us to feel elevated levels of fear, elevated levels of stress. I hear that California is in the process of shutting down again. One of my friends in New Mexico area sent me a screenshot of a notice that went out. Once again, they're in that shelter in place order. A lot of businesses are closing down again. BLUERAY, it's so important for society to have support from you. And the way you support them is not by trying to solve everyone's problems and any of that. The support that you can give is becoming very, very centered in your truth, very, very centered in your existence, and being this foundational thing, like the anchor that's rooted in the foundation. It's attached to the foundation of a new society that's being built. So if you're attached, if you're really hooked onto that foundational structure of this new world, when something tries to lift you out of it, you're pulling up the foundation as well. That means you're raising it up to its rightful positioning for everyone else to recognize. Okay? I hope that makes sense, what I just said. So the Chariot. Success that comes from dedication and self-discipline. Celebrating your accomplishments. Being in the spotlight. So with the Chariot card, it's okay, success that comes from dedication and self-discipline. It's going to take a lot of dedication and self-discipline to finish off the structures, the energetic and mental structures that were being created, that will be what is used as like the foundational stuff for the new world to come forward. This new way of being. It's actually not a new way of being. It's new because we haven't been this way in so long. It's basically a return to like a matriarchal type of nurturing. And it's not that men are not capable of being nurturing. It's, I don't know, there's just like an agitating energy right now. Hold on. It's a lot of like blips, a lot of blips. I don't know where I went just now. I just realized I'm live. A lot of blips that have been, it's like blips in the coding. So it's trickling down, flipping itself, flipping itself, flipping itself. It's very similar to the imagery that they show in that movie, The Matrix. It's like flashline sequencing. Something just shifted out of place. I just felt it as I was trying to figure something out a few seconds ago. Something shifted, it slipped out of alignment. And this is not for me personally. This is for the collective whole. And the Blu-rays are the front runners. They're the ones who are blazing that trail for the rest of the human consciousness to follow after. It's like it's right there from my understanding, you know, like when you know the word, but you can't quite remember it enough to say it out loud. It's like that. The assumption is that this is information that's probably not, it will compromise me discussing this type of stuff so openly. I wonder if maybe society is not yet ready to hear some of this stuff. So it's about coming to an understanding, okay? You have to begin understanding your process. You don't have to fully master it. You don't have to know all the ins and outs and all the future events that are potentialities. You don't have to, but you have to begin understanding this is a process. This is not about a destination. It's about the process that you go through before you arrive where you're supposed to be. It's about the process, what happens during that process. You're trying to bridge the gap between two things, two very, very different things. I never noticed those two birds up there. So it's a very low-key message of a pair of birds flying high, assessing the landscape. This assessment by the two birds, the pair, it definitely, it's going to be transmitted to this little birdie to let all the other little birdies know when it's time to go, when it's time to, when it's safe to leave that cage, okay? And I'm not talking about a rapture. Card number 8, traveling. This looks like an invitation to travel into the deeper trenches of your existence. I've always made this analogy. I have this visual that there's an ocean contained within your heart. And as you probably know, and if you don't, now you will, the ocean floor isn't flat. It has peaks and valleys in it. Sometimes it also has trenches. It's almost a sense of like you're being invited to enter a trench within the heart of your ocean. And this trench is obscured. You're not really going to see what's in it. You're not necessarily going to know in advance what you're supposed to do there. but you're being asked to travel through your spaces and enter that realm. Get to know yourself. Card number 21, beyond the mind, the heart beats. There's just so much information coming through. It's this, I don't usually get this message for this card, but it's almost like this is some sort of light tunnel and it's sending information towards you. And as it filters in, you have to examine, really, really examine down to the foundation what you're talking about and why. Where is this rooted in? I don't know if it's like a conversation you're having with someone or conversations within yourself. I don't know. It's just so much information sifting through. And for those who are like, well, why don't you just start telling us some of the stuff sifting through? Okay, well, when you have a big, big bin of those alphabet letters, and you've never really looked at the alphabet before, like you're familiar that there's this thing called an alphabet that exists, but have you learned the alphabet? Have you learned phonics? No, you haven't. You just know there's this thing that it does exist. It's a real concept. And then someone takes that big ass bin of alphabet magnets and dumps it out. Well, just tell us what it is. I don't fucking know. It's a jumble of information. There's shapes and colors and it's intense. It's intense. I don't know what it is. It's too much for me to kind of parse through this quickly and be able to give you information. So card number 3, inspiration. Allow yourself to become inspired. Okay. Even inspiration coming from challenge, from difficult circumstance. Allow everything in your life to inspire you. Because if you don't, I don't know. I don't think anything really bad will happen. But I think it becomes kind of like annoying. It becomes an inconvenience. You know, we have to stop with this assumption that when I don't say exactly what's going to happen, that I'm withholding like super important information that will make or break your life. I don't think I'm that powerful. I really, really don't. Thank you for the vote of confidence, but it's not serving you to live like that. You know, because sometimes I'll have people like, I want to know what Michael said. Well, shit, if I didn't say it out loud, then he and I were having a private conversation. So card number 22, she feels, she knows. What do you feel right now? I've had a pretty good day, pretty productive day. I don't have a reason to feel any which way other than ready to sleep. But like when I started this live stream, it was a very real sense of yucky. And then it shifted randomly just a few minutes ago into like such a deep sadness, such a deep, like such a deep sense of my chest being hollowed out. I don't know who this is. I don't know if it's an individual or if it's a collective whole. I don't know if it's a response to something that I can feel coming, but I'm not consciously yet aware that that's the message coming through. It's like such a empty feeling in my chest, and I don't believe it's mine. Oh, thank you, Eliza. Yeah, no, I am. I'm very, very sensitive. I wonder, I wonder if this has to do with like a second round of closures and sheltering in place and yada yada yada. Not many more businesses can take this. Okay, if you don't own a business, that's fine. But let's please think of the people who have huge overhead costs because they have a brick and mortar business. Their business is not e-commerce. My company is e-commerce. I don't have that huge overhead of like needing to pay for my warehouse, needing to pay like 10, 15 employees, 30 employees. Oh, but you know, they're super successful. It's very rare for a business to be able to withstand this type of unexpected closure, months on end. These are people who have invested everything in hopefully being able to later on down the line be financially stable enough to provide for their family with no worry. Many businesses, they're not doing as lucrative as most people think. Many businesses are struggling. They're month to month, like, damn, am I going to have to close this month? I'm wondering if that's what I'm picking up on. Like people really afraid because the holidays are coming. Black Friday is coming. You know, this is a time where we need to make as much money as we can so we can buy all these gifts for all these people we love, because heaven forbid that's the only way to show that we love them. It's weird. It is a collective restructuring, not just of values, but of the infrastructure of our finances, societies, even the dynamics within families and relationships. Everything is shifting. Have you ever like tried to balance empty cups on a table and wiggle the table, like those what are they called? The red cups, those plastic cups. Have you ever tried to like move a table, even just like 2-3 feet, with those cups empty on that table? Because we're being emptied right now. So we're kind of being represented by the red cups. When red cups are empty, the ability of the wind to knock you over is pronounced. Any little shifting on the surface you're on top of, that has the ability to knock you over. It's total and complete restructuring. Honestly, even Jenga is more stable than the red cups. You know, unless you're like towards the end of the Jenga game where, you know, the base is unstable. Solo cups, that's right. I wanted to say sternos. Well, some of us are sterno cups and some of us are solo cups. The sternos, I don't know if you're familiar with what that is. It's a cup of fuel, gel fuel. And that thing can burn for a little bit. It can burn for a little bit. It can heat up your food. It can warm your whatever you need to warm. Don't cook your hands over it. Ooh. Oh, wow. My family relies on our family-run business, and business hasn't been good. We don't know how we're going to pull off Christmas for our 4-year-old son. Yeah. I think this is a beautiful time to reassess and redirect. That's like two of the most powerful things you can do for any event in your life. Reassess and redirect. When you reassess where you think you're heading, what you think is going on with your life, you begin to get a little bit more of a clear picture whether you were accurate in that initial assessment or if you were completely off the mark. Now, the most important thing after you reassess is giving yourself permission to redirect. Just because you've already traveled 3 steps down a path doesn't mean you can't turn around and choose to go the other path. Just because you've traveled 30 steps down that path doesn't mean you can't turn around and travel another path. Just because you've traveled 300 steps down that path does not mean you can't pause, reassess, and redirect. What is the point? Okay, so say that you are lost in the wilderness and you have a map with you, a topography map, and you have a compass, and you've traveled 3 miles across extremely rough terrain, only to realize, holy shit, my calculation was wrong. I'm not heading the right way. I'm going deeper into the wilderness instead of towards, I heard saving grace. And instead of traveling towards my saving grace, I don't know what your saving grace is. I don't know if it's a characteristic or I don't know, but I heard saving grace. I was going to say civilization. Saving grace, we'll go with it. Will it serve you? Will it serve you if you continue going down the path you were on? Because, well, shit, I've already traveled 3 miles. I can't go back now. F that. Turn around. I would turn around. I would absolutely turn around. Don't allow your pride and your fear of other people becoming aware of this sense of failure. Don't allow that to affect your productivity, to affect your progress, okay? You don't achieve any type of progress without being productive. So traveling. You're traveling through. Another thing I'm being told. If you were going the right direction, you were reading the map properly, you were reading the, it's not a thimble, stop. It has a needle in it. Compass. If you were reading the map and the compass properly, and you're headed in the right direction, but you suddenly realize, oh shit, for some reason, the gorge right there wasn't noted in the map. Now I have to figure out what to do. If you can't bridge that gap, I mean, does he look like he's gonna, I mean, look at him real good. When you get to that point, I don't know that you can save that. I don't know that you can just pull yourself up. I feel like sometimes we have to recognize when we need other people to assist us. And sometimes we need to recognize that we need to just believe in ourselves a little bit harder. Very intense, very intense. Let me. All right, let me just get out the final deck. All right, here it goes. Well, there's a point where you're stretching, and then there's a point when you overstretch and end up injuring yourself. And really, it's very unique in regards to how far you can stretch. What can you tolerate? What can you not? I've showed you guys this before. So this is my finger. It's relaxed. I can kind of hyperextend it by flexing it. And then I can really, really bend it backwards. Can you guys do this? Should that be a requirement? I mean, I can do it. Everyone else should. No, it's not. Not everyone can do that. Sometimes we have to just recognize things, you know? We have to just recognize what our current physical, emotional, or mental limits are. The soul is limitless, but so long as you're in body, the body has limits. It has absolute limits. Does that mean my limits are the same as yours? No. That definitely means that whatever I put my mind to, that can absolutely alter what my limits are. Michael says, giving up before you've even tried is a guarantee for failure. I don't know who he's talking to. He's not talking to me. He's talking to someone in the audience. Giving up before you even try is guaranteed failure. It's like, there's something you need to do. What if I fail? Well, if you don't even try, you're guaranteed a failure in your notebook, right? All right. So, Ace of Wands, new beginnings, birth, new ideas, creation. We're needing to create through allowing ourselves to first experience. We are a people who have been programmed generation after generation after generation to operate from a place of fear and deficit. Why? Why are you afraid? Do you know? Is this fear you've inherited from your ancestors? Is this fear you have been programmed with by your culture, by the society you exist within? Is this a fear that's rooted in your own lack of sense of self, lack of self-confidence, lack of belief in yourself? It's just a lot of different things that really affect the level of distortion that is created when we're looking at ourselves in the world. Okay. New beginning. So I kind of take it as we are at the end stage of whatever this day is, or group of days. It's at the end. The sun is starting to set, darkness is rising, light is dimming. Does bad stuff happen only at night? Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, with all of creation, all of earth being considered, usually at night, that's when most things are off to bed. It's usually during the day that quite a few different things are happening. Victimizations are going on, interactions that lead to a sense of victimization. It's our own fear of our shadow. It's a bless you. It's our own fear of, like, what if there's something scary there? I'll tell you guys this. As a child, I was so afraid of the dark. So afraid of the dark. And I actually saw things in the dark. There were actually things there. That's why I was so afraid. I could feel it touch my body very slowly. At night, I could feel it when the light was turned off. And I've actually seen the ugly faces. I've actually had my hair physically thrown like that. I'm like, what the fuck is in the room? And it was very scary. That's over 40 years ago. Because I remember all the way back from when I was, my earliest memory, I believe I started walking before I was 1. I remember trying to pull myself up to learn how to walk. I remember that far back. Granted, not all the details anymore, but that's my earliest memory. Yeah, even then. I remember walking to a park because I lived in the Philippines as a toddler. And we had to cross a little overpass, like really, really small, like Japanese garden type small. It was like a slab, like cement. And I remember seeing something that looked like a deformed dog underneath. And I remember it making eye contact with me. Well, not just deformed, a deformed dog whose carcass has begun to rot. That's what it looked like. And I remember that. And I remember all these other things that have happened, physical marks that were left, claw marks down my back, getting bit, literally physically shoved down the stairs, hair ripped out, eyelashes ripped out, given a bloody lip, all kind of different things. And yet I'm still here, perfectly fine. And you know why I'm fine now in comparison to before, when all of this still used to really, really scare me? You know why I'm fine now? Because I realized no matter how dark it got, if I just held on long enough, the next day would arrive. And no matter how many nights I go through, if I just hold on long enough, the light comes back up. And eventually you get tired of the cycles, the repetition, the same things happening over and over and over and over and over and over. You get sick and tired of being scared, and you go from scared, disempowered, to full of rage. I have nothing left to lose. You've already done all of this shit to me. Time to fight back. It's just time to fight back. I don't give a shit. Oh, you want to bite me? Let me shove my whole fucking fist through your mouth. And then eventually they learn, oh, this one's not an easy target anymore. This one's lost its fear. Lose your fear. Lose your fear of being afraid. Fear serves a very real function in your life. It brings your attention to the very things you should be paying attention to. It serves its purpose. But when you have fear and you run away from that fear, which is very normal, it's very, very common, I did that for so long, then it empowers it. So you feel like something's following you. You're walking down the hallway, you feel like something's following you. When I was little, I'd take off running, I'd book it. Fuck that. Yeah, now I will stop. I'll turn around. The fuck you want? You want something? You want somebody to smoke? You want these magic hands? What you want? Which one first? And I guarantee you, every single time I've turned around, there's nothing there. Oftentimes I'll see the last little smidge of it taken off. That's right, bitch. I run this fucking house. Sick and tired of you doing shit. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm all joking and everything, but it's actually the truth. When you take on that stance of within your auric kingdom, your personal space, you are the king or queen. I will not bow down to something else in my personal space. I was watching this Asian soap opera, Rui's Royal Love in the Palace, or it was a long ass title. I'm like on episode 81. Episode 81, and she has just been, I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but today I got to episode 81 and I was just like, bitch. I was so stressed out this morning watching it because I'm like, everything that's happened, you haven't put your fucking foot down. You are the motherfucking empress. Why are you letting these side bitches run your fucking house? And I didn't say that out loud. I was thinking that, and I was breathing really loud. And my nephew goes, "You all right, auntie?" And I was like, "It's too much. I can't handle this shit." Let me show you, girl. Hold on. Let me find the link. No, I'll comment it. Hold on. I will find it. Okay. It is MZTV exclusive Chinese something. Rui's Royal Love in the Palace. I wasn't watching on my phone, I wasn't watching on the laptop. So that's what it is. You so need to watch it. I'm like, why am I so drawn into this? Well, it's because it's teaching me lessons that I'm like refusing to acknowledge. For so much of my adult, well, no. Let me retract that shit. We're not going to be a victim like that. It's not so much of my adult life. For a short period, maybe like, I don't know, 3 years or so, very recent, I was taking in that kind of energy where I just need to be very quiet about this, let people have my yada, yada, yada. You know, I don't want conflict. And I'm seeing firsthand, like, oh my God, a large portion of that bullshit that happened was because I allowed people passive permission to allow that shit to happen. Now I'd be like, bitch, I'll snatch your wig off. Fuck you. No more. No more of that. No more of that. No more of that. I take full accountability for allowing that, and I'm not going to allow it anymore. Watch that soap opera. I'm like, bitch, you're the Empress. Stop on that. No, I stop. I was feeling my violence going up. It was just the quotient was like rising tremendously. 6 of Cups, happy house, childhood memories. I'm wondering if many of us try and pretend we had a happy house, but our childhood memories tell us something quite different. And it's very, very hard for us to reconcile the differences between the actual childhood we got and the childhood we wanted so badly to have. When where is this rooted in? Because so many of us feel like, you know, my childhood was the worst. And I'm not telling you that it's not, but it's a very common, like, my childhood was the worst. Everyone had it easier than me. And then you're embarrassed that you had a different type of childhood than someone else. My husband and I, we have such different childhoods. He was totally like loved on and spoiled. I was like, you fucking assholes. You spoiled ass brat. For a while I was all sour, like super sour, like you're fucking spoiled ass brat. Then finally one day he got tired of me and it was like, you can't hold it against me just because I was loved. Boom, shut up. Hit me with some truth. Yeah. Just like no one needs to hold it against me that I didn't have that gentle childhood. Mm-hmm. And it made me into the person I am. It made me into a very, very powerful person. And I make that statement in comparison to the previous versions of me that have existed in this lifetime. Me stating that I'm a powerful person has nothing to do with comparing with someone else. Like, I'm more powerful than you. No, I didn't say I was more powerful than you. I made a declaration of being a powerful person. That means I retain the right to choose how I'm going to use that power. And the fact that I know I'm a powerful person obligates me to be more responsible in the way that I use it. So how will I use it? In the way my soul intended. Because I recognize now all these fears that I was having, and I'm sure this applies to you too. All these fears I was having about the person that I am, who I'm becoming, the details of my life, what if this, what if that, it was all bullshit. It was all excuses to keep me justifying the fact that I was actively hiding myself away from the purpose I came into this life to live. I kept hiding myself away from the very people who needed to witness me in my process. What makes me powerful right now? Because I could do, like, energy stuff? No. My most powerful thing is that I can live authentically. That I no longer have to feel ashamed, embarrassed, stupid for letting other people see that I feel. That other people have witnessed tears dropping from my eyes. Other people have witnessed me shut down in the middle of a live stream. Oops, I got triggered. Oops, and that little child again. That's powerful. To lose your fear of what other people will think and say and do when they see you in a position they perceive it as weak. Do you realize how powerful you have to be to allow others to see your vulnerability? And it took me a very long time to learn that, because I come from a place where don't ever let them see you cry. Don't ever let them see you struggle. Don't ever let them see anything outside of a smile or your fucking fist. Because if not, you're weak. You're weak. You're embarrassing. Go hide yourself at home. I'm just saying, that's pretty ugly to ask that of a soul, to separate yourself that intensely, that deeply from everyone else because you're not portraying the image that I want you to. Well, what if you're more than just a blank wall? like that blank canvas, you know? What if you're a living fabric? What if all these things that a painter would think are flaws in the canvas they're about to use are the ways in which you're that much more unique? And the hands of a true artiste, not one who's just, you know, painting by numbers, but a true artiste, they can take those flaws and they can make something ridiculously beautiful out of it. Why don't you be an elevated level of artist for yourself? Why don't you find all these flaws that you've been so hell-bent on hiding and make them into something powerful? The things that people find the most powerful about me, the fact that I can speak up, the fact that I can be rebellious and fearless, all of that stuff I was programmed to be ashamed of. When you come from a culture where the woman has to be very docile, very submissive, very quiet, I'm a broken hot mess. That's how I'm seen as. I'm not ladylike. Well, that's right, because I'm not a lady, I'm a goddess. You don't tell me what to do. You can reason with me. You can ask for compromise. But you will not dictate to me. Because the moment you begin that, you see the goddess come out. No, I'm sorry, I'm done. That's me taking back your card to talk. I'm taking back the talking stick. Have a seat. No more. And it's not that you just do this for anyone who doesn't say what you want to hear. It's that you need to recognize who has a desire to have a conversation and exchanging of ideas, and who has a desire to simply force you to be quiet and listen to what they say because they're right, you're wrong. They know more about you regardless of how long you've been present in your life. I've taken back the talking stick. You're out. I've taken back the talking stick because this is not a conversation. This is a monologue, and I'm not here to witness your performance. I'm not one of your subjects. I have my own life. I have my own mind. I have my own path, just like you guys do. No one should ever be given the permission, whether it's outright or passive, to enslave you in that way. I don't think so. As a Blu-ray, you have an obligation to allow other people, probably just your intimate circle, people you trust, people you have known for a long time. You have an obligation to allow them to witness you as you rise. That's part of what the connection is about, because it empowers those who witness that rising. So, 10 of Pentacles. Hold on. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Bad odds, possible loss, hazard, robbery, loss of inheritance, dissipation, gambling. That's another thing that kept coming up in that Chinese soap opera. Dissipate your anger, dissipate your anger. That kept standing out for me today. I am still working through quite a bit of like residual anger issues. They're not even issues. It's my fuel. Blu-rays. You are capable of feeling things at a much more intense level than the average person. That's for a very specific reason. Your emotion is the fuel you use for your rise. This is the very reason why society was structured to keep you capped at certain emotions. Take the cap off. Like a 2-liter. Keep twisting until the cap comes off. And this is not about just allowing your rage to run rampant and lashing out at people who were never even part of what happened to wound you in the first place. This is not about bleeding on everybody. This is about taking the lid off. If you feel so confined in your life, Take the lid off. Just like that. Take the lid off. So dissipate your anger so that you can use it with purpose. Why is my work so effective? It's fueled by rage, an endless amount of rage. Oh shit, Emmy's an angry person. Yeah. Does that mean I'm angry at you? No. Does that mean all I do is attack other people? No. The cap is off my bottle. So you know what that means? That means you want to come at me in a very inappropriate manner. You want to be demonic in your interaction with me. Let me dip my fingers in my bottle, sprinkle some holy water on your disrespectful face. Wake your ass up so you can recognize who you're talking to. Because this right here, I'm not taking that shit. Doesn't mean I'm going to engage you. I'm going to reassess and redirect. If engaging you will grow both of us, it's worth it. If engaging you does nothing but fuel unnecessary behavior, you're right. Go ahead. You're right. You go ahead. Waste all of your energy on that shit. You're right. Yeah. Well, the sky is orange. Yes. Yes. I'm not even going to be like, yeah, only a certain time. No. Yes. All day. Yes. It's orange all day. Ooh, the ocean is solid. Oh, yes. Yes. By all means. Be right all you want. And you'll come across people who it's not enough for them to be right. They need you to cower in their righteous rightness. Y'all can do that by yourselves. I don't need to participate in that. Ooh, travel. Page of Wands. Travel again. A lot of traveling going on. Page of Wands, a loyal person, an envoy, emissary, trusted friend, a stranger with good intentions, a bearer of important news. Ooh, so here's one of the messages. It would be extremely difficult for me to say the kinds of things that I say in my live streams to strangers. It would be very difficult for me to do that with family, relatives, very close friends. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's a lot easier to release more truth sometimes with strangers, complete strangers. You know why? You don't have that human history that programs the dynamics between the two of you. You are still free flowing. There's nothing that's been established yet, so you can reassess and redirect how they see you. Hello, Lotes. Hello. So, yeah. A stranger with good intentions. That's profound. So Michael's talking to me about the part with a stranger with good intentions. What if the stranger is you? Not a stranger for someone else. I'm talking about the stranger with good intentions is the you that you're becoming. It's a stranger because you've never allowed yourself permission to be that version of you yet. At least not until this point. All the way up to this point, this version of you that's coming forward and has good intentions, who wants so badly for you to grow and elevate, expand, all of that stuff, that's a stranger. You know why that's a stranger? Because you don't know them. That's why. Get to know yourself so there's no strangers in your land. That's deep. Get to know yourself so there's no strangers. So there are no strangers in your land. The Hanged Man, getting stronger in oneself after a lot of deliberating, delaying in your life. There you go. So with this, some people be like, okay, well, that is not a position of power because you're upside down. Well, have you ever been on an inversion table? Have you? It creates space between your vertebrae. So many of us have so much compression on the discs of our back. You know why? Because we carry the weight of the world. We carry the weight of toxicity of generations before us. Create some space. Allow some of that very healing fluid, synovial fluid, to flow through. And as you dangle upside down, well, quite a bit of your blood rushes to your head, nourishes your brain, and helps you to better think. I'm just saying, nourish that brain. Nourish that brain. 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands in reverse. Difficulties, intrigues, a traitor, deceiver, some losses will occur. How about this? As we finish up this reading, how about the losses that occur are the traitors and deceivers and the intrigues and difficulties? Intrigues, let me define this, hold on. Because it seems like there's something. Plot. Puzzle, make curious, deceive, cheat, a secret love affair, a mysterious or fascinating quality, the secret planning of something illicit or detrimental, make secret plans to do something illicit or detrimental to someone, arouse a curiosity or interest of, fascinate, conspire. So here's the thing. Intrigue is like fire. It seeks to consume and destroy. Without you as the fuel, nothing happens. This feeds off of your need to explain your side. This feeds off of your insecurity that, well, people just don't know, so I have to. Those people who don't know and still try to take that in, that whatever they heard about you, they take it in as truth without even asking you. These are people who never had your back in the first place. These are people who always had some level of despise towards you for whatever reason, and now they found something to justify that unreasonable, unfair condemnation of someone they know nothing about. And it doesn't matter how long they've known you. It really, really doesn't matter. It just doesn't. This can be done by someone new. This can be done by someone who's been a childhood friend. You know, sometimes it takes people quite a bit to find enough justification of their unjustified feelings towards you. Does it matter how long they've been around? Does it matter how much you meant to them? Maybe to you, but not to them. Because if it mattered, they wouldn't have used whatever it was, whatever intrigue, to fuel their justification of why they feel so ugly towards you. And I mean, I don't know. If you're going to do ugly makeup, you don't need me to help with that. I'm just saying. You can do that shit on your own, you know? You want to do ugly makeup? You want to put on an ugly face, an ugly identity? You do that on your own. I'm not taking no fucking credit for that shit. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to touch your face after you put all that shit on it. I'm not going to fix that. You have to first wash that all off before I decide whether I will allow myself to involve myself with that hot ass mess makeup you just did. And some people might be like, oh, that's so superficial and like judgmental. Hear beyond the simplicity of what I'm saying. It's called an analogy. If you can't find the analogies, you kind of don't understand the intricacies of the simplicity of life. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Okay, hold on. I think I'm done. Whatever that yucky feeling is, it's still there. It hasn't entered my field. I know it's, shit. Shoot. I'm a bad word sayer. Hold on. Let that sink in. I'm crazy, but you like that. I got my kitty pants on. What is this? Queen of Cups in reverse. I don't know if, oh, right there. Ugh. It was in reverse when it fell. Dishonesty, unreliability, and vice. Vice. Like Miami. Hold on. Define vice. There's a secondary message to this. No. What? Let's see. Because it wouldn't be with an S. Immoral or wicked behavior, criminal activities involving prostitution, pornography, or drugs. An immoral or wicked personal characteristics. Well, acting as a deputy or substitute for, next in rank. Fucking shit. Hold on. Go, Aisha. Who's next in rank? Thou hast distinguished between the just and the unjust. Thou didst make the female and the male. Thou didst produce the seed and the fruit. Thou didst form men to love one another and to hate one another. So duality into a totality. Oh, Lord. Hold on. The heart girt the serpent. I want your other name. Give me your other name. I'm the heart, and thou the serpent. Wind thy coils closer about me, so that no light nor bliss may penetrate. Crowley night winter. Hold on. Orphic egg from the Orphic religion. Hold up. I think I found it. It's Gnostic. No. Block. Let me see. A heart encircled with a snake. Hold on. Here. Here. Or the crowned and conquering child, which it means is that the heart of the magus contains the egg into the protection from the father. So what it means is that the heart of the magus contains the egg, and so the serpent, the father, protects it. It's for this reason some hermeticists would say you could never touch a true magician who has made a pact with certain forces, for they can never be betrayed or hurt, as they are protected by the ancient forces. All right, that's wow. All right, so I have some things I need to read. I need to brush up on some goisha. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for sharing this space with me. If you could please give this video a thumbs up, that would be amazing. Yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Sign up for my text notification. I didn't put the instructions on the video description. You're going to have to find another video description. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll add it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. So you guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.